SEL0320 representing JBS. I'm here for a brand new movie review. This is it's an early review, but I did the screening actually last week for the movie I Saw the Light. I'm going to read a quick synopsis for you. The story of the country western singer Hank Williams, who in his brief life created one of the greatest bodies of work in American music. The film chronicles his rise to fame and its tragic effect on his health and personal life. And this is starring Tom Hiddleston. As you can see from a little bit of footage right here, and I'll kind of try to put so you can look at, I was able to talk with Tom Hiddleston in a QA session, and it was so freaking awesome. I'll link that in the description bar below. You can go and check out that, which actually, there's a lot more footage I haven't posted up yet. But anyway, so let's go ahead and delve into this. And this is going to be a completely non-spoiler review. How was it actually shot? How was the cinematography? And how was the music? So the thing about this one, the cinematography is actually really good. The problem with the cinematography is that when you have a lot of moments in this movie where you see Hank Williams and you see him on his rise or his prestige of doing this, or there's an emotional sequence, it's shot beautifully, right? But the editing, like basically what happens is you'll have like a scene that'll pan out and it's such an emotional moment, then it just transitions to you don't know how many years or processes later. And so it's not so much a pacing thing, it's more so an editing thing, because basically every single time that I was riveted into the emotional scene, or the cinematography was excellent, or that one musical moment just happened, it just cut to the next sequence. And there was one moment, I think, that Elizabeth Olsen, who actually plays Aubrey Williams, which is Hank Williams' first wife, where she goes and deals with something medically, and like you hear about it, and then the next moment, like it's over with, and you're kind of taken out of the moment a lot. And for some reason, I don't know why they did editing of that. I think that they tried to fit so much of those moments of his life all the way to the end. Because the thing about his life, if you don't know the history of the man, I mean, his career started when he was probably around 23, 25, and then it kind of ended when he was really young. And I'm not going to reveal that date because I don't want to have you looking for it in the movie, but unfortunately it's actually displayed in a really realistic kind of terms. And I guess even from just the tone of the movie and the way it actually feels, and I normally don't talk about this is a very sad movie. Downright, I should say, depressing. I was talking to my friend Lucas, and we had got out of the movie, and I was like, man, I appreciated the acting by Hiddleston and Olsen, and I appreciated the way that they did the symmetry and the life and the biography of this, and I even appreciated like how much work this man put on his life just to get to this achievement. But it was just really jarring and depressing. Like I was comparing it to almost like Requiem for a Dream kind of depression. And that takes away from the fun appeal to the biography. And a lot of times that's an issue with certain biographies. When the picture is done, you have to question. It's not so much to say, no, this person wasn't worth having the biography done, but it's like if it's so bad in certain situations that happen, it's like, what is the effect it's going to get to the general audience? Are they going to be able to get and siphon what the man meant versus where it happened, and that's one of the things, I guess, for me personally, it was just really rough on me. That's why I had to take really a week just to assess everything that kind of happened. Now the music they actually do really well. I think Hiddleston has a great country voice. His accent is actually really plush, and he sings all of it. That's one of the things that somebody had asked a question about. Did he do all his singing numbers? He did every single one, and I can't knock him on that. Like, these are songs that I remember, hey, good looking. No, I'm just playing. I can't sing today. But no, Hiddleston does a really good job, and even like the score, in general terms, it actually does what it's supposed to do from the pacing of the film. The problem is, like I said, when you get to an emotional moment, it's just stopped on the dime, and it's like then transition to something else. And it's the same thing with the music as far as the score and the pacing of it. And so it kind of is a really big distraction personally for me, as well as the actual tone of the actual movie. So in terms of the acting, Tom Hiddleston, Elizabeth Olsen, who else was actually present in this one? You got Maddie Hasson that plays Billie Jean Jones. Bradley Woodford that plays Fred Rose. He actually does a really good job. Cherry Jones actually plays Lily Williams, which is Hank Williams' mother. There's a lot with that. I'll talk about a little bit in the story. And that's generally the biggest actors. But this was actually directed by Marc Abram. Marc Abram, he helped out with a lot of different things. Let me try to give out some of his biggest ones as far as his producing side. As far as a producer, he helped out with, let's see, In Time, The Newest, The Thing, Children of Men, Slither, Dawn of the Dead. He was a producer for all this, even The Rundown. So he did a good job as far as capturing, I guess, the biography effect of the moments that happen that are emotional. But as far as Hiddleston is concerned, I think he does a great job with the singing moments. I think he does a great job actually in character and the way he sounds. The issue is that a lot of times, like I said, maybe this might be the editing or just the way things have to be paced for the script to actually make sense, is there are moments where, like, there's one moment with him and Elizabeth Olsen, and he was drunk, and he has an alcohol issue, okay? And not just alcohol issue, he's also got a medical issue. And he has a gun, and he starts to shoot it. And like Elizabeth Olsen's character comes to him, she's like, "What are you doing?" And he just starts shooting at something else. And in such an emotional, jarring moment, that I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then you get to another moment where he's just kind of idly doing something, and it just kind of takes away from his, you know, this man can act. You know that he's in this character, but the character's not doing anything, and it's just kind of repressive instead of moving forward, unfortunately. And that's not knocking his performance. It's just there are moments where he shines amazingly, and then there's times he's not doing anything, and then there's times it's like, I don't know how the flux of this is supposed to work. Same thing even with Elizabeth Olsen as Aubrey Williams. She does an amazing job. Like when they are going and butting heads, and you're starting to realize and comprehend that Aubrey Williams, she not just is competitive, like she's dealing with borderline jealousy of her own husband and his career and what she wants from her career, and that pulls into his own life because the same exact thing is happening with his mother, Lily. And Jones does a good job of playing that not just overbearing mother, and her presence is felt even when she's not in. And I think that's commendable in the sense of the way that Hiddleston comes off of, because every interaction that he has with different women, different people, it is all a byproduct of the way that he was fed from his mother, as far as the way she tells him he is or who he's supposed to be and what he means to this and how other people don't matter, including like his wife and stuff like that. And that plays into his psyche, because segue into the actual story, this man has got a lot of problems. He's trying to get into the Opry. He's trying to get to this huge plateau that he's always wanted to get to, and now he's dealing with his wife, he's dealing with his mother, he's dealing with trying to create a family, he's dealing with financial concerns, and on top of that, he's got this inability to accept when he's dealing with something really bad. And when he starts feeling something really bad, he reverts to what I call his substance abuse, essentially, problem. And it's not just a substance abuse problem. It really is like just a drug in general, because it could be women, it could be alcohol, it could be anything, all reality. Because when things don't start working, or when he's trying to make something work, or even with his relationships, like he just starts to need them and need them and need them, and then that overtakes his body in turns. Like, matter of fact, something happens really early on, and then he starts dealing with the medical issue, and it's like you literally see Tom Hiddleston's character just disintegrate. Like, it hurt my heart, to be quite honest with you, because from the character versus the actual man, to know that, you know, Hank Williams, who made some of the greatest country songs ever, that he was suffering, he was dealing with abuse, that he was dealing with like broken marriages, or he was like literally going on stage knowing that his body is disintegrating, or he can't really stand, or he has to stay home and record on a box, not because he's, you know, drunk or whatever, but he literally can't make it there. And it's just really sad. And that's the thing that's hard for me to say about this movie, because I don't want to say that no person deserves not to have their story told. Every story has a way of being able to shine in a certain kind of light. I think it would have benefited from a generational kind of thing. Like, I was thinking about The Place Beyond the Pines, where it took from Ryan Gosling's character over to, you know, his son. I think that this movie would have benefited that, because it would have seen the generational lines of things that happen from Hank Williams Jr., and then so on and so forth. Just their legacy. Even though in the movie you will see his legacy marked, but it's left with such a dark spot that you're like, man, it's really heavy on the heart. And I think that this movie would have benefited from showing what happens with his son and what happens with his son's grandchildren, and just generational. And I know that would have made the movie run long, but maybe they could have cut out some of the things that kind of happen in the pivotal moments. Like, they spot dates in the movie when benchmarks would happen for him. Like, there was this one sequence that was really funny. Like, he hit this huge benchmark, and then you're like, wow, this is awesome. And then you see him next, he's just drunk, and he's playing with a garage door opener, and he acts it so well, because it was probably one of my favorite moments, because he was just doing it and doing it and doing it. This was Olsen's character. Aubrey comes out there and she's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I don't get you, or whatever. And then he just kind of keeps doing it, and he acts it so well, but it's sad, because you know this man is jacked up, you know. And so I think that, like, certain things that they could have kind of left and closed out of, if they're going to jump from that many time zones or time points, that they could have benefited from just honestly going and showing what happens after, you know, and what happens with his rest of his family and his legacy on it, because that would have been a lot more heartfelt, that would have been a lot more hopeful. I kind of was left out of the movie feeling like a lot of hopelessness and darkness and just sadness, like, just for the life that he had to live, just to submit his life for what he really truly believes as far as the craft of music. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, every artist, you know, can come off really as a tortured artist, you know, but a lot of people, like, they don't know the sacrifice that was the weight of that. And that's the thing that I can say I pulled away from this movie, that this man took a lot of sacrifice. He took a lot of weight. But because of the movie and the way it made me feel in this kind of depressed state, I had to kind of lower it down, because there was a lot of moments that Tom Hiddleston shined, and a lot of moments that he didn't. There's a lot of moments that Elizabeth Olsen shined, and there's a lot of moments she didn't. And then just the way that they cropped the movie and edited it, it just took me out of it, and I just felt really bad after it. And it's hard for me to recommend the movie to somebody if they're going to really genuinely feel bad about it. If they are a lover of the music, they're going to be appreciated, hands down, for sure. Because, like I said, Tom Hiddleston does do a good job as far as the singing is concerned, and they do go through all the way through his life. It's just not a happy film. So I think that I'm in between 6.5 and a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. I was really just going to stick it just to a 6, but I'll give it 6.5 out of 10 only because I think that I don't know how it could have been done with the progression of the characters better, I guess. Other than them, you know, like I said, Place Beyond the Pines kind of stand. But either way, like I said, that he did a decent job. I just wish it was a more happier kind of film, unfortunately. But that's my review for I Saw the Light. Hopefully you go and, you know, make up your own mind about it. I don't want to deter you from actually going and check out the film, because Tom Hiddleston is a beast. He's got a lot of new projects coming out really soon, not just Thor Ragnarok and Colin. He's got TV shows and other movies. I think High Rise is one I'm going to check out really soon. But anyway, this is JVS. We ain't going to stop. Y'all have a blessed night, blessed evening, blessed day. Talk to y'all later. Peace.